The race for governor is on. Republican Governor Greg Abbott is going for a fourth term. He faces Democratic State Representative Gina Hinojosa, and she campaigned in North Texas last week by launching Team Texas Public Schools. Hinojosa told our Jack Fink about the effort to make education one of the big campaign issues ahead of the election in November.
We have over 100 schools in this state shutting down. We have over 150 school districts at 4 days a week because they can't afford 5 days a week. I first ran for office because my own son's school was shutting down. That is the experience of millions of Texans right now, despite the fact that our property taxes have gone up 75% under Greg Abbott. We pay more, we get less. I talk about the Greg Abbott corruption tax. More and more of our money is going to corrupt vendor contracts. That ends when I'm governor.
How does this new offshoot, I guess, this new Team Texas Public Schools, how does that interact with your campaign? How does that fit into your campaign?
It is organizing to get out the vote for those of us who love our public schools and are ready to defend them and fight for them. And I encounter that amongst Republicans. I encounter that amongst just people who see what has happened to the public schools and the deterioration under Greg Abbott, who are ready to take a stand. And so it is targeting a different population of voters who are concerned in a big way with public schools.
Well, the press secretary for Greg Abbott's re-election campaign responded, saying the facts are simple. Public school funding is at an all-time high of nearly $90 billion, and average teacher pay has risen by 30% since Governor Abbott took office. Governor Abbott also added over $8.5 billion in new funding for public education last session alone, including nearly $4 billion in teacher pay. School closures are driven by enrollment and demographic trends, not a lack of state funding. And a milestone for the Texas Education Freedom Accounts program. Acting Texas Comptroller Kelly Hancock announced last week that more than 102,000 students have been approved for the state-funded education savings program. Families have until July 15th to confirm enrollment in a participating private school, select homeschool, or opt out of the program altogether. An estimated 145,000 students remain on that wait list to get into the program. More cases of the new world screwworm have been reported in South Texas. The screwworm is not a worm. Matter of fact, it's a parasitic fly. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins made 2 visits to Texas in the last week as sterile flies are being released in chambers like this one to try and effectively control the population. A facility to produce more sterile flies is under construction now in South Texas.
I also want to continue to ensure this does not affect the food supply system. This is not a virus. It is not a disease. It is a pest. And so we obviously are treating it as such, but the food supply system remains intact and couldn't be safer.
Well, the screwworm can spread through open wounds of livestock and is being seen as a potential threat to the beef industry.